Welcome in, everybody, to the 423 Football Podcast. Today is going to be our Week 11 recap show. We're going to break down the news, give you some standouts, flops, stock ups, stock downs, and our waiver wire. You know the drill. Same as always. I'm your host, Brandon Bouchard, joined here by Brett Hamilton.
Hello.
And as most of you know, we record these podcasts on our recap podcast and our preview podcast on Tuesday, and then we release them on Wednesday and Thursday. Obviously, this week is Thanksgiving, so we're going to treat this as, obviously, our Wednesday show. So happy Thanksgiving Eve, everybody.
Thanksgiving Eve. Who comes on Thanksgiving Eve?
The ghost of turkeys. I don't know. But
well, look out for that tonight.
Yeah, don't go to bed. But anyway, I'm just ready for some football. Some Thanksgiving football, some Thanksgiving
it's always good.
Turkey, some mashed taters, turnip greens.
Okay, we're not that far south.
We are. But okay, so we're gonna get into the news. Well, actually, before we get into the news, we're gonna do another wide receiver redraft segment. It's been a while. I think it's been a couple weeks, honestly, since we did this last time. I think we did wide receivers, didn't we? At least once.
Yeah, last time we did wide receivers.
Okay. So, yeah, we're going to do it again. Lots changed since then. Obviously, injuries have affected a lot of players. Obviously, Jordy Nelson's not going to be in this list, I assume.
I don't know. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. But, anyway, okay, I guess we got to decide who's going to pick first. We're going to do 10, so pick rock, paper, scissors.
10 picks or
10 picks, yeah.
Oh, okay, good.
Rock, paper, scissors, who goes first. Just
right.
Not 2 out of 3, just 1.
All right.
Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot.
Oh, okay.
I'm going first, baby. Antonio Brown.
Oh, shocking.
He's
still the GOAT.
There's no one who can even touch him. I know every year there's always like Antonio Brown has like a one bad game. He has like 20 yards, and people are like, oh, let's panic, and then he comes out and scores 3 touchdowns. So
yeah, he is just fine. He played really well against the Titans.
Yeah,
he just dominated them.
Yeah, we'll get into that a little bit later. All right, pick number 2. Who you got?
I'm gonna go Julio Jones.
I agree. I think he's gonna. Matt Ryan's slowly getting better, back to what he looked like last year, and the offense is becoming more prolific than they started out.
Yeah, they started off certainly slow, but I think they're going to return to the mean now.
Yeah, I still expect Julio to get plenty of yards. Just throw him the dang ball in the end zone.
He's still not getting it.
You didn't even have your goal line back this week, and you still didn't go for him. Mohamed Sanu, however, incredible catch.
Yeah, that was awesome.
In the back of the end zone. All right, third pick. This is... I think I'm going to go with A.J. Green.
Yeah, I think you about have to.
Yeah, he's been so consistent for so long. He's always been that way. Only thing stopping him has been injuries. He looks to be fine this year. Still don't have that much faith in Andy Dalton, but A.J. Green, I mean, he's a phenomenal talent. So, yeah, A.J. Green at number 3.
At number 4, I'm going to take Michael Thomas. He's been super consistent on the yards. I don't think everyone understands that he's like every week he's a touchdown away from having a fantastic week. He's just not getting in the end zone, and I think that he's going to have to return to that mean eventually.
Yeah.
It just hasn't been there. I mean, he's getting consistently in the 90 yards, and I'll take that from any wide receiver.
That's just what it is. When they get in the red zone, it's just all Mark Ingram, all Alvin Kamara. I mean, you don't really need to throw.
It is different, and that's true. But I still think that he's bound to find the end zone.
Oh, yeah.
Going forward.
And since you took that pick, Michael Thomas, I will gladly take Adam Thielen. Gladly. Not even close. I was going to take Adam Thielen. I'd take him above Michael Thomas. And I was honestly wavering between him and A.J. Green.
Oh, wow.
I just want to say...
Okay.
I'll go on a little tangent here. But... Adam Thielen, I don't want to be the one to make the mistake. Like, obviously, we didn't have the platform to speak on back when Jordy Nelson was doing this at this age. And everyone slept on Jordy Nelson. No one wanted to say that he was that elite talent. He was a top 5 wide receiver. I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to make the mistake. Adam Thielen is a top 5 wide receiver in the NFL. Yeah. There is no question about it. He has phenomenal route running. He has top-end speed. incredible hands. His sideline awareness is incredible. His just knowledge for the game, incredible.
Yeah.
Just we got to stop kidding ourselves. I just don't understand why. I don't know. I don't want to go to a certain point, but Adam Thielen is a top 5 wide receiver. I have no doubt in my mind about that. He makes Stephon Diggs look like just a scrub, just another guy. All right. So there that was.
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, number 6.
This one's a little risky, just based on the quarterback play, but I'm going to go Mike Evans. I can't pass on him for too long.
Yeah,
he's still one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. He has Ryan Fitzmagic throwing it to him, which is definitely a downgrade. I don't know when we're going to see Jameis back. Jameis wasn't cleared to practice this week, but I still have. I mean, he's clearly the number 1 wide receiver there. They're gonna be in plenty of games where they're gonna have to throw the ball. Ryan Fitzpatrick is looking for him. He does throw it to him. So it was between him and actually no, I wasn't even thinking about it. I'd go him next for sure.
Just Mike Evans for sure.
Yeah.
They're
not even wavering.
Yeah. Obviously, he's one of the better talents, like physical talents that we've seen in out of the rest of the guys to choose from. Yeah. Which I'll go with the next top talent, DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
DeAndre Hopkins. He's clearly. I mean, he's always been the number 1 target on the Texans.
Yeah.
Will Fuller's been out for a while. We know what DeAndre Hopkins can do. He's still getting touchdowns even with Tom Savage. He's getting targets with Tom Savage. And he's just better. He's just a better wide receiver than most. And
he even had a good game this past week against Patrick Peterson. He burned him on that slant route.
Oh, he can. I mean, he can. He's right up there in like physical talent with Julio Jones.
Yeah.
So it's just a matter of quarterback play and how the game goes.
If Tom Savage can get it to him, which he has so far.
Yeah. All right, number 8. Who you got?
Whew, this one's tough. I think I'm going to go Doug Baldwin.
Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, I have faith in Russell Wilson that he's going to continue to play well. And he's clearly the number 1 wide receiver on that team. They have a lot of weapons, and Russell Wilson does do a good job of spreading the ball around. But I think that Doug Baldwin is a little bit underrated this year. He hasn't produced quite up to par of what people thought he was going to do this year. But going forward, I like him.
Yeah, I really, really like the fact that, well, I don't like the fact for Seattle that obviously they lost all the pieces on defense, but the fact that they have means they're going to be throwing a lot more. Russell Wilson's his fantasy value's going up. Doug Baldwin's fantasy value's going up. Jimmy Graham, we've seen him dominate in the past couple weeks, but Doug Baldwin's still the number 1 guy in Seattle.
Yeah.
Okay, number 9. This is getting to an ugly point. I'm going to go with Brandon Cooks. I know he was.
Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, he's still. I still think he. I mean, obviously, he's still the up and down boom bust guy, but his schedule upcoming is just stupid good. He plays Buffalo twice and Miami twice.
Yeah,
I don't know what else you could ask.
They play like 3 teams in 5 games or something like that, or like 3 teams in.
They play 3 teams in 6.
Yeah.
3 teams in 5. Yeah, right.
3 different teams in 5. They play 2 teams twice, and then they play one. I can't remember who the.
I think
it's the Steelers.
Yeah, I think it goes Miami, Buffalo, Miami, Steelers, and then Buffalo.
How'd they get Miami twice in 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's gonna be a cakewalk for the Patriots from here on out. I mean, that division is garbage.
Yeah, I'm not really worried about that.
All right, round it out. Top 10. Who you got? This is the hardest one.
This one really is. I'm deciding between let's see.
There's only 2 names I got, honestly, in my mind. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm thinking.
How the mighty have fallen.
Yeah, seriously. The fact that it's this hard is kind of frustrating.
Yeah.
I'm going to lean towards Dez Bryant.
Ooh, that was not on my list at
Really?
all.
Really?
I wouldn't draft him in the top 20.
In the top 20?
I wouldn't touch him. Not with a 10-foot
Really?
pole. Not with a 10-foot pole.
Nah, I just don't agree with that.
Des Bryant is a shell of what he used to be. Dak Prescott clearly can't get things done with...
that's the biggest issue.
With the offensive line being in shambles and obviously Zeke being out. Yeah. I wouldn't touch Des Bryant at all. Honestly... I don't know. I'm trying to find a player that I'd take over him that's really, really low. I'd take Juju Smith-Schuster over him.
Okay.
I'd take Marvin Jones over him. Sterling Shepard, Stephon Diggs, Rashard Matthews. I don't like him. Des Bryant is not the talent. I mean, we see the name and we know the talent he used to be.
But when you're talking about, we're talking about taking all those players. Those are players that may not see 5 targets a game. They might. Des Bryant, listen to his targets since after their bye week. 10, 6, 11, 8, 14. He's going to get yards. I don't love him, but he's going to score a touchdown or two. He's going to get yards because of the targets.
It remains to be seen, though. He hasn't been. He's getting the targets, but he hasn't been up there in production.
Yeah,
especially with the Cowboys losing all these pieces, they're not going to. Dez is not going to be.
Tyron Smith is not out for the rest of the year. He's going to come back.
I understand that.
Dak is not going to get sacked 8 times a game after that.
No, but just take this next game for instance. Chargers. If Tyron Smith misses this game, Chargers are going to have a heck of a pass rush coming after Dak. So that's going to be one problem. Obviously, we saw what Dak struggled with last week. Granted, 2 different teams, but anyway.
Yeah.
And then Des Bryant's going to be going up against Casey Hayward, which I think he's going to be pretty much shut down in the entire game. I just don't like Des. I just don't like Des.
It's fair. I'll just take the sure thing of the targets.
All right, fair enough. I will say the 2 guys I was thinking of were Keenan Allen and Jarvis Landry. Jarvis Landry, I am impressed. We have never seen him score touchdowns like this.
No,
which is exciting.
He's getting to be really, really consistent, which is really good. You aren't thinking about Tyreek Hill at all?
Not really. I'm still kind of... The Chiefs have been scaring me a little bit lately. So, I don't know. Maybe... I'm trying to think of other names that I'd throw in there. There's so many guys that are just, inconsistent. They're not... Yeah. They're not the greatest to look at. I don't know. Would you take Robert Woods anywhere in the top 20?
In the top 20
before his injury. Obviously, he had 3 back-to-back games.
Yeah.
With 2 back-to-back games with over 100 yards and a touchdown, and then he had this 80-yard game before he got hurt. But he was on fire.
I can think of plenty of other people I'd take before him, though. I would take him. He'd probably sneak into the top 25, but not top 20. I don't think.
Not top 20.
No.
All right, I just want to get a take on that because it really doesn't matter anymore because he's going to be out a couple weeks. But Robert Woods was looking pretty good. Well,
he was. Yeah.
All right. So to recap, we have number 1 Antonio Brown. Then we got Julio Jones, AJ Green, Michael Thomas, Adam Thielen, Mike Evans, DeAndre Hopkins, Doug Baldwin, Brandon Cooks, and Des Bryant rounding out the top 10. Okay, jumping into the news.
Cool.
The news.
The news.
All right, Kelvin Benjamin suffered a knee injury in Sunday's brutal loss to the Chargers. Expected to miss some time. He's been dealing with this apparently all year. He's had knee swelling, so I don't know. I really don't expect much from Kelvin, even if he is out there, but he's not going to be. He might be, honestly, borderline droppable at this point.
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask you. I would drop him. I don't think... I'm not going to hold on
especially
to
if you need someone...
who's injured indefinitely and someone who's a pass catcher on the Bills. He just hasn't proven anything. He hasn't been there long enough to prove anything, and Lord only knows what they're going to do at the quarterback situation.
It better be Tyrod. There shouldn't be a question anymore.
Yeah, I have strong feelings about that as
Granted,
well.
I said they'd make the stupid I had the stupid prediction that they would switch to Peterman in the first place. But I wasn't in favor of it. But I had a feeling it was going to happen. The Bills is being stupid. They've made stupid decisions all year. Honestly, just the trades they made and the personnel they've used.
I don't know what Sean McDermott and just everything after that game just was more infuriating. He said he didn't regret starting Peterman First of all, does he know the definition of regret? Like, what does that mean?
Did he watch the game? Was he there?
The first 9 passes he attempted, there was 4 interceptions. What do you...
I could do better.
Honestly, I don't think I would have thrown an interception. I would at least just throw it away. I mean, I can throw the ball out of bounds.
I will throw at least 2 or 3. I will not throw 4.
4 is just pushing it.
That's like 50% of my balls. Just no.
I felt sorry for Peterman. I mean, thrown into like the worst of the worst situations and just getting embarrassed. I mean, just on a national level, he had no business starting there.
That's why it's a very, very you're just like walking on thin ice when you're throwing rookies into situations like this, because one game like this could honestly ruin his entire career.
Yeah,
people will just like he's going to be remembered for this game.
Yeah,
and it's not going to be pretty.
And about Tyrod Taylor, if he does get the start this week, I mean, I would very much consider streaming him against the Chiefs this week.
Oh, I'd stream it
if he was the starter. But you have to take into consideration there's a very good possibility that if he starts to play bad, they take him out and put Peterman back in that's what they do. They just hate him.
Anyway, Greg Olsen has officially been activated from the IR. He will be back this week. Definitely a good thing for the Panthers. Going to be a target hog. Him and Devin Funchess both. Duke Johnson aggravated his shoulder injury in Sunday's game, so he wasn't really doing that much there for a while. I still don't really. It doesn't improve Crowell for me much at all.
No,
I like Corey Coleman even more because Duke Johnson he was getting targets, so Corey Coleman's going to get a little more of an uptick.
He gets a bump up, but there's not a whole lot to be excited about there.
Yeah, still the Browns.
Yep.
Jay Cutler in the concussion protocol. If Matt Moore goes, Kenny Stills all the way. If Cutler goes, Devontae Parker, I guess he still hasn't really shown us much, but just something to monitor throughout the week. Deontay Foreman tore his Achilles after having a breakout performance Sunday. That was devastating. He's looked good all year when he's got touches, and then on his touchdown run, he was crossing the plane. And that's when he pulled up and his Achilles went. That's just
that was
tough to see.
Really tough break for someone that was really kind of emerging. I'll tell you, he's gonna be someone you definitely have to look at starting next year. I mean, you can't forget. Don't forget about him next year.
Yeah. Chris Thompson likely done for the season after fracturing his fibula. Just. Brutal loss for the Redskins.
They're getting decimated at the running back position.
I mean, he was their playmaker. They're like big playmaker. Yeah. But now I guess they're just down to Samaje Perine. This is obviously going to be an improvement for Perine.
Oh yeah,
he had a good game last week.
He did have a good game.
I expect him to get a heavy workload going forward. So all in on Perine. Yeah, and just poor Redskins. 22 players on the on the injury report.
Yeah,
that's double. Any other team.
That's stupid.
That's just dumb. Robert Woods, as we were talking about before, expected to miss a couple weeks with a shoulder injury. Aaron Jones, who is dealing with a sprained MCL, he was dealing with legal trouble stemming from a traffic stop on October 1st, but apparently I think they dropped the charges or something like that.
Yeah, I saw something about that. I didn't read in depth to it, but it sounded like it's dropped or they're not.
It didn't seem like that big of a deal. Obviously, I think McCarthy and the coaching staff knew about it a while back, but the only reason it's coming up now is because apparently a hearing date was selected.
Yeah.
Josh Gordon set to practice for the first time this week, so get ready. He's coming. It's going to be real. DeShone Kizer might be a sneaky fantasy playoff play with Josh Gordon and Corey Coleman out there.
Yep, maybe.
Paxton Lynch will start this week over Brock Osweiler. Thank the Lord. You can't get much worse than Brock Osweiler.
You can't get worse. That offense cannot look any worse. And they fired the offensive coordinator, so that'll look different.
Yeah.
It could be an upgrade to C.J. Anderson. whoever the new offensive coordinator is may go back to what was working for them at the beginning of the year, and
which is running the ball,
giving it to C.J. Anderson. So you never know, or it could be an upgrade to Booker. I don't know.
Yeah, Terrell Pryor officially placed on the injury reserve. Can we just officially say he's the bust of the year?
Yeah,
it's not even a question. It's not even a question. No. He's not going to. I don't even know what he's going to do anymore. Like he was on a 1-year deal. He basically bet on himself with that. They were going to offer him more, but 1-year deal obviously ruined it.
Yeah,
and
you never bet on yourself.
Never bet. Thank you, oh wise one. Last bit of news: Texans claim Andre Ellington off of waivers. Obviously, Deonta Foreman is going to miss the rest of the season. Andre Ellington, he might get a little bit of work. I still think Alfred Blue is going to be ahead of him on the depth chart. There were some rumors, obviously, Ellington being cut from the Cardinals, that David Johnson might have a chance to come back. I still don't think he's going to come back this year. I think they're going to basically rest.
I think they don't need to bring him back this year.
No, there's no chance of them making the playoffs.
No.
Especially with Blaine Gabbert. Okay. Standouts from Week 11. QB position.
I got Big Ben lighting it up on Thursday night.
Finally.
It was a brutal loss for the Titans, but completed 30 passes for 299 yards. He didn't break 300. But 4 touchdowns, and Antonio Brown is really good at football.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and, Big Ben has been kind of an up and down story this whole year. So I think
mainly down.
Yeah, he's had a lot more downs than ups.
This is his first game with this is his first game with 3 touchdowns. He hasn't had a 3 touchdown game all year, and he had 4. So
yeah, that's
much improvement.
Yeah, I definitely enjoyed seeing his reemergence.
Yeah, my quarterback standout is going to be Tyrod Taylor. 18 points after not starting the game. Yeah. Obviously, we talked about this a little bit before. Tyrod Taylor better be the guy going forward. He's an incredible, especially for fantasy. Just as talking about fantasy, he needs to be an option for people to have because he's an incredible option. He has bad games, I understand that, but just I don't know. Just give the guy.
You know who else has bad games? Their defense.
The Bills are. I understand that, but Tyrod Taylor, he did fine. Obviously, he came in and did what he. They would have been in that game if Tyrod Taylor would have started.
Yep.
All right, running back standout. Who you got?
Leonard Fournette. Not a huge flashy game. He didn't get in the end zone, but I thought he deserves a mention just because he has 118 yards is pretty good. But he was also playing the Cleveland Browns, which has one of the better run defenses in the league. He disappointed last week. A lot of people were kind of wishy-washy on him, but they gave him 30 carries, and he did well with them, so there's no need to worry.
Oh, yeah. My standout's going to be Samaje Perine.
Yeah.
We talked about this a little bit already with Chris Thompson injury news, but Perine, 18 points in this game. He got clearly the majority of the work. It wasn't even close. He even got some third down work, trying to catch a few balls out of the backfield. Wasn't that successful with that part of his game, but I mean, Redskins have a good offensive line. Perine's, I still think he's one of the better rookie running backs.
Yeah.
We've had a really talented class of rookie running backs, by the way.
A really, really good class for
but Perine, I expect him to have a very good end to the fantasy season.
Yeah, he's going to have a pretty good floor with no other running backs behind him.
Yeah.
Wide receiver standouts, Keenan Allen. Just been kind of meh the whole season, and then just busted out of there. With he caught 12 of 13 targets. Great. Those are Adam Thielen numbers.
Whoa.
Oh, I'm sorry. He didn't catch all 13.
Yeah.
But 159 yards and 2 touchdowns. Just absolutely blew up.
Yeah,
and I was on the receiving end of it.
Yeah, obviously we won't break these wide receivers down too much. After we did the wide receiver redraft, but my standout, Brandon Cooks, 6 catches, 149 yards, and a touchdown. We know his schedule going forward: Buffalo, Miami twice, so he's gonna have a field day with them.
Yeah.
Tight end standout, I'm going with Jimmy Graham. Jimmy Graham scored yet again. almost had 2 touchdowns. One got called back for offensive pass interference.
Yep.
But he leads tight ends with touchdowns. I think he's second in the league for receiving touchdowns amongst all players. So, I mean, he's basically the run game for them at this point. They don't have a run game. Jimmy Graham's the middle of the field, that dink and dunk kind of guy. He can go up and make those box out moves. He's their goal line running back, honestly.
Yeah.
They threw a fade to him 3 or 4 times on the goal line. So Jimmy Graham is looking like he's still a shell of his former self, but he's still looking fantastic.
Yeah, as long as they use him in the right way, he's gonna be solid going forward.
Yeah.
My tight end standout for the week was Kobe Fleener. No touchdowns, but he got 91 yards. He's not been someone you could rely on this whole season, but if they start getting him involved, I think you can play him in the right matchups going forward.
Yeah. Okay. Before moving to flops, I'll just run through a few more standouts that I had written down. Ryan Fitzpatrick, 19 points, doing fine with Jameis out. Latavius Murray, 15 carries, 95 yards, and 2 touchdowns. He's solidifying that role. Like I said, I think Latavius. They really like Latavius, and he's going to get a lot of the carries. Deonta Foreman, as we mentioned before, 20 points towards Achilles, but you got to mention the guy.
Yep.
Antonio Brown, 10 catches, 144, and 3 touchdowns. Meh. Just a regular day for old Antonio Brown. Adam Thielen, I won't go on about him. A few more wide receivers. Mohamed Sanu.
Yeah.
Incredible one-hand catch in the back of the end zone. He is really a big part of that offense, aside from Julio Jones. Josh Doxson, he is slowly getting more and more involved in the offense.
Slowly, but I like it.
Yeah. Him and P. Ryan have become the new faces of that Redskins offense.
Well, eventually they're just going to run out of players, so someone has to catch the ball and make plays.
True. And let's see, Corey Coleman, 11 targets. I think that's going to continue since the Browns have no one else to pass to. And then, last but not least, Adam Shaheen. If you're looking for a tight end, I think Adam Shaheen is really, really a strong option for Mitch Trubisky, especially being a rookie quarterback.
Yep.
All right, flops of the week. We'll go through these really quick. Who you got at quarterback?
Dak Prescott, I don't think it gets much worse than negative 1.2 points in our league of record.
Yeah.
Just awful. 145 yards, no touchdowns, 10 rushing yards, 3 interceptions. Only completed 18 of 31 passes.
By far the worst game of Dak's career.
This is not even close.
I think Dak's a good player. I think he's a talented quarterback. But this is the problem with Dak. He is not. If you have to rely on him to win you games, it's not going to work. He can be the the passer, the reliable guy when you have a decent run game, when you have a nice line, when you have a somewhat relevant defense. But
which their defense is not.
But Dak is not going to go out there and throw left and right and win you games outright.
Yeah. They really need Tyron Smith back.
Yes. My flop at the quarterback position, Jay Cutler. I'm just going to say this because I think he might have been our sleeper of the week last week, or my sleeper. But Jay Cutler looked
bad. All
three
bad.
3 picks. Obviously left the game with a concussion. Can't really predict that. But still, he had 3 picks before the concussion. And that's not going to get it done. So
no, it won't.
Yeah, running back.
Running back flop of the week, Doug Martin. He's just sabotaging fantasy football teams. He's getting the touches, so you have to play him, but he's doing absolutely nothing with it. He had 18 touches. He's getting about 20 touches a game, which you look at that and you're like, well, that's great. But it's kind of like Isaiah Crowell, honestly. He'll get 20 touches a game, but he'll go for 49 yards. Just not good. And they're playing the Dolphins, which had already given up good games to Marshawn Lynch, Alex Collins, and Jonathan Stewart. So it's obviously not a prolific run defense, but Doug still couldn't do anything with it.
Do you think a lot of teams are starting to stack the box against the Buccaneers, making Fitzpatrick and even Winston throw more?
Oh, yeah. I mean, when you look at Doug Martin run, he's not running any differently than he has in the past. It's just that there's quite literally no place to go. And I think that is a product of people stacking the box and making people pass. Because everyone knows that Jameis makes dumb decisions and makes mistakes, and Ryan Fitzpatrick is a backup for a reason. So I guess that could play into it.
Yeah, I kind of wish the Bucs would give Doug Martin a little more of a role in the passing game because he's not that bad of like a pass catcher, and he can out in space and out on the side. He's pretty good. He's agile. I mean,
you just get those passes that are going over his head because he's so short.
I guess that too. Running back flop for me, I'm going with Adrian Peterson. I think Adrian Peterson's pretty much. I don't think you can start him much going forward.
I think he's definitely matchup dependent.
Yeah. Without a question. Wide receiver flop. I'm going with Golden Tate. 3 catches, 32 yards. I thought he was going to have.
Tell me about it.
I thought he was going to have a huge game.
Me too.
And then they flipped it back on us. Marvin Jones had the big game.
Yeah.
So
that's frustrating.
Yeah, not fun there.
No. My wide receiver flop of the week was Jordy Nelson. 2 for 24 yards. Just not good. I know your personal answer to this, but what do you think about teams considering dropping Jordy Nelson?
It's still borderline because the Packers are still technically in the playoff race, and if they're there in Week 15 and Aaron comes back, you can easily win your fantasy championship on the back of Aaron Rodgers and Jordy Nelson. That's not even a discussion. Yeah, but I don't know.
You're definitely not playing Jordy with Brett Hundley.
No, not even.
The only one
especially not this week with Steelers. Them going to Pittsburgh.
Yeah.
But you still have to hold them until the Packers, until you know that Aaron's not going to be the quarterback at all this year. Then you can drop Jordy.
Yeah, I like it.
All right, moving into the stock ups and stock downs. Actually, before that, I'll mention a few more flops. Obviously, Peterman, we talked about him. Isaiah Crowell, you mentioned, I think, once. Joe Mixon, 20 carries, 49 yards. He still is not doing anything.
It is time for us to adjust our expectations for Joe Mixon. He's getting the touches. Everyone in the whole fantasy community just railed on that whole offense for not getting him more involved. And now he is more involved. What more do you want than 20 touches a game? He's still doing absolutely nothing with them.
I think, obviously, we saw in college, P. Ryan and Mixon were teammates at Oklahoma. Yeah. But P. Ryan looked really, really good at Oklahoma, too. And I think, honestly, P. Ryan might be the better back. Yeah. I was raving about raving about P. Ryan before the draft happened. I even thought he was going to go before Mixon. Obviously, Mixon dealing with the off-the-field troubles. But P. Ryan is a fantastic running back as well. Mixon's not doing anything.
No.
One more flop, Devontae Parker, 4 of 9 targets. 4 of 9. And then 26 yards. That's gross.
That's bad.
That is not good.
One guy I wanted to mention, Evan Ingram, with the news breaking very surprisingly that Sterling Shepard was going to miss because of a migraine. The first thing that went through my mind when I saw that was, man, I wish I had Evan Ingram in every single league, which I have him in one. And I played him, and I was disappointed because he caught 1 of 6 targets for 9 yards. In a game without Sterling Shepard, I just don't understand.
That was an odd game anyway.
Flop.
Stock ups and stock downs now. My stock up of the week, Brandon Cooks. Talked about him a lot today. We talked about wide receivers a ton.
Yeah.
Obviously, I talked about the matchup he has going forward. Twice against Buffalo, twice against Miami. I think he's finally going to have a stretch where he's somewhat consistent.
Yeah.
We'll see. He might drop a dud here and there, but I think he'll be fine going forward.
Yeah. My stock up is, I think he's owned in most leagues now. If he wasn't before, he definitely will be now, and we already talked about him. But Samaje Perine, with Chris Thompson going out, he is going to be a workhorse, and they're going to have to rely on him in most situations.
Stock downs. I think both of these names have been mentioned for me. Jordy Nelson, obviously, and Adrian Peterson.
Yeah. I've got Kelvin Benjamin. I think you can drop him. I don't want to keep him on my rosters because he's dealing with a knee injury. It's not like an ACL tear or anything. He may come back, but I just don't want to rely on that and have him take up a bench spot. Buck Allen, full out droppable. Danny Woodhead had 5 receptions in that game against the Packers, and Buck Allen had 1 reception.
I love Woodhead going forward, by the way. In PPR, definitely a stock up for me.
Yeah.
All right, waiver wire ads, and then we'll close out the show. give me your top 5 waiver acquisitions for the week.
I'm going Corey Coleman, Josh Doxson, Rod Smith, Josh Gordon if he's still out there, and Austin Eckler.
Still liking Rod Smith?
Yeah. Well, this is nothing against Alfred Morris. I think that the Cowboys are just not the same Cowboys right now because of all the things that are going on. And I think eventually they'll get to a point in the season. I'm not saying start Rod Smith now. He's more of a stash. But I think that he's a little bit more electric. We know what Alfred Morris is. Rod Smith could blow up. Not in a huge way, but he could. They could play him more as the season progresses and their team is bad.
And he is the pass catcher most of the time.
Yeah.
All right, waiver wire ads for me. I got Samaje Perine. He's still owned in only 52% of leagues. Definitely go grab him. He should be number 1 acquisition by a mile.
Yeah.
Dion Lewis, I got him next. Then we got Corey Coleman, Devontae Booker, Josh Doxson. You mentioned a few of those names.
Yeah.
A few more names to mention. Alex Collins, if he's still out there. Danny Woodhead. Damian Williams, I know he's I think he's less than 50% owned. Cooper Kupp, now that Robert Woods is going to be out for a while, Cooper Kupp, I know he's out there in quite a few leagues. He's going to get an uptick in targets, so look out for him. Greg Olsen, if he's still out there, definitely. He will be back this week. He's going to be one of the top 5 tight ends. Josh Gordon, as you mentioned before, and J.D. McKissick, PPR, if you're considering PPR. He's lining up in wide receiver sets quite a bit. Okay, so that is all for today. We will be back tomorrow. Obviously, we're going to record this in about 2 minutes, but we'll be back tomorrow. It's going to be Thanksgiving, so what better to do than eat some turkey, watch some football, and listen to us talk football.
Yes.
So follow us on Twitter and Instagram at the423football. Like us on Facebook. Subscribe on iTunes, Google Play, and YouTube. Give us a like and leave your comments and reviews. Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Happy Thanksgiving Eve.
Thanks for listening. We are the 423 Football Podcast.